Okay. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today?
Hi, are you doing? Sorry, we're 5 minutes behind. It's 6. Hope you're good. Hope your weekend is going on well. Yes, amazing. I'm loving the weekend though. I mean, it's hot. It's hot today. Yesterday was it hot?
No, yesterday was when it rained a bit, and then
Yeah,
later in the
yeah,
sun came up, but it was pretty gloomy and a bit
yeah.
just
Yesterday was
a
good.
little bit
Yeah,
windy, very windy actually.
it's pretty hot. I just put on the aircon. I couldn't really stand it. Like my body's.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming live with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we're so excited to be with you again. Last week we had all the party at Zoom, but we decided, you know what? Let's take a little bit, to you, and then we go work out and, you know, get ready at Zoom. So after this, at 6 o'clock, we're going to Zoom for Zumba. Don't forget, okay? If you want to get the link, the Zoom link, just let me know. Or our Facebook, just say, hey, I'm interested, and put your name or email or YouTube, and the Zoom link will be sent to you. All right, so we are inviting our guest today. She's a doctor. She's going to talk to us today about health tips. So we know everybody's back to the normal life. We know it's summer and you should go out, have some fun, picnic, and do all of that. But we just want you to put that safety aspect in mind, just doing the right things. So I'm not going to give you any fake instruction. We will invite Dr. Ibiye Briggs. And yeah, she's going to have some chat with us. All righty. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Oyebola. Hi, Ayus. Hi, everyone.
Uh,
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I said welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thanks. It's good to be with you guys. Thank you for having me here.
yes.
And yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
So I remember last week, and you're not the only person. Like a lot of I don't want to use a lot, but like some ladies have talked about how the Zumba has really helped them, to stay fit and even physically. And every week they join us. You're one of our regulars. Like every week you're there, So if you want to talk to us about that, like how it's helped you, so that other ladies can be encouraged to come on as well.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's one of the things I really look forward to on Fridays. I really try to make the effort to be there.
Yeah.
And it has impacted me, just the Zumba, the workout and the chats. And I know when we talk about fitness, we think only about physical, but I would say for sure it's been both the physical and the like mental component of it.
Right.
In terms of the physical component of just that 1 hour of working out with you guys, I mean, I cannot underestimate how helpful it is. So things like burning up fat, lowering your blood pressure, just helping with your heart health.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, it actually helps with relaxing your muscles so you sleep better.
Yeah.
It actually helps your bowel movement, so helping with constipation and all that. And it's been shown that, just being physically active actually does reduce the long-term risk of things like dementia. But for me, the way it's really hit me the most, just working out with you guys, is it's really helped me get back on track with my own personal physical goals, right? And which is what I'll just reach out and really encourage everyone, right? The guidelines by the Canadian Cardiovascular Societies, we need to exercise at least 30 minutes per session, 5 out of 7 days a week.
Wow.
And it has to be a moderate intensity. So moderate intensity means enough to increase your heart rate, break out in a bit of sweat, but not get breathless. And I think that 1 hour with Zumba is perfect. So that's the physical part. And for sure, it also helps emotionally, just it does help with regulating your moods, calming you down for sure. And also, I mean, we know the situation we're in with the pandemic and all that. And it's impacting. I mean, we do see we do hear and we do see the physical issues, right? But more than that, there's also the mental aspect of this pandemic. And so, of course, with the isolation, as well as, a lot of uncertainty financially, job related, this is one time where we really need to kind of actively play a role in our mental health. And so that's one thing that the physical, being physically active and just joining the workout has really helped. And I would really recommend strongly, right? In terms of mental health, in terms of being able to feel that you're in a community, right? So even though we cannot see physically, but virtually you're relating. And those are part of the things that we do really encourage to help with mental health. That interaction with friends, that chance to just, have community, feel like you belong in a community, be with people who have the same goals, have the chance to just laugh and just have fun. And yeah, so for sure. And like I say, with all the news that's going on, lots of negative news, yes, we need to stay informed. I do acknowledge that. But then just the constant hearing, whether we know it consciously or unconsciously, it's doing something to our mental health. And so I always tell myself, what is a win? And I'm sure everyone will agree that 1 hour doing that workout or just sitting down and listening to CNN or the news go on and on and on, same thing over again, lots of negative. And everyone will agree that for you as an individual, mentally, physically, that 1 hour is a me time for us and a time to invest in just your well-being, mentally, physically. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks for that. I didn't really think about it in the all the other aspects that you covered, but for sure.
Oh, exactly.
Let us sweat
Yeah.
and our session is over 40 minutes, right, Ayus?
What session?
For the Zumba itself, like the Zumba part.
Yeah, it's 45 minutes ish.
40 minutes. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, 45. Well, sometimes let's say 45 minutes to an hour. It depends.
So that
45 minutes to an hour. That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Right? At least for that day.
Exactly, for that day. And that's just a one start, right? Most of us, we have physical goals. We want to do the 5 days, but I always say, I think a little is better than nothing. And if you can only start with that Friday, like I said, it did help me push me on to go on with my own personal goals. Because if you can do that 1 hour, you're like, okay, I can do another day, and I can do another day, and I can do another day.
Right. Yeah.
So just taking one step at a time, right?
Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think sometimes we beat up ourselves so much that we're not exercising like we should. But just like you said, if you take it one day at a time, start from somewhere, and before you know, you're working like 5 days a week. You have to start from somewhere. And the thing is, when you're talking about physical fitness, you're not just talking about that hour or that 30 minutes when you exercise, or that 5 days a week. You're talking about what you do like through the day. If you're sitting down like for a couple of hours, after you've been a couch potato for some hours, get up, walk the stairs and down, walk outside, take a stroll, come back in. Or even if it's just inside your house, just stand up, even if you're standing up and watching TV for a bit, just make sure that at intervals during the day, you're doing some kind of physical work, like you're standing up, you're stretching, you're walking the stairs and walking down, and all that, will add up to your physical fitness. You have to start from somewhere.
True.
Yeah. A little at a time will not overwhelm you. So yes, on Fridays, it gets you started. But then, like Ibiye shared, it's just a starting point. Before you know, you're setting goals for yourself, and you're meeting those goals. And little by little by little, you see the changes.
Yeah.
And it's not only physical changes; it's also emotional, like she said. It's also mentally, you're happier, you're in a better mood, those hormones, the happy hormones when you work out, and then you set yourself up for something.
Right. That part of your life, it's more, for some people, physical exercise is very hard. I'm one of those people. Doing that in the community, like doing that together with people, really helps. For example, Ayus is a coach. She's a Zumba coach, so she knows what she's doing, right? She's going to make sure that we're doing it the right time, doing it well. and also doing it the right way, you know. Like for example, I wouldn't take a Zumba class because I might just put whatever exercise in between and doesn't target some certain aspect that you want it to. So having like, you know, a professional do that, that helps as well. And community is just fun doing it together
Yeah.
and just having fun at the same time, you know, getting that fitness part of our life in check. That's really good. Yes. So as a doctor, you know, I
Mm-hmm.
know when you see people, you know, going out and being reckless about it, maybe not wearing a mask. I know people have different opinions on this, and also maybe not even taking that proper hygiene, like washing your hands often and things like that. Like, what advice do you have for people generally? You know,
Okay. Well, thanks for that. I guess I just worked on the assumption that we've all been battered so much about those health guidelines. I'm just going to ask you guys to indulge me and I'm just going to highlight them one more time. I think more so now that we're doing that relaunch, because I think this is going to be a make or break. Like we see countries around us, right?
right,
It's okay when you're cocooned in your house, but when we're relaunching, I think we all have to play a role and it's going to determine how things turn out. And so, I mean, it's the same thing, practicing the social distancing. And we know that it's the 6 feet or the 2 meters apart, washing your hands regularly. Um, and of course, being aware, self-aware, if you have symptoms,
yeah,
don't take things for granted. Just isolate yourself immediately. The good thing about things that I'm sure most of us do know is that now they're the drive-throughs. We have a couple in Calgary, and all you need to do is just go online and just log in, and you can get in to do a test. If for any reason you feel I just need to get checked, but for
right,
sure, if you do have symptoms, I would recommend that you call 811 and usually they will set that up. And once you take the phone and you make that call, especially if you have the symptoms, then for sure it means you need to commit to doing that 2 weeks of the isolation
right,
until you get the chance to get the test and your results come out.
yeah,
I won't go into all that because I think we've heard a lot about this. But for me, the part I wanted to really highlight today is the issue about the masks.
mask. I was going to ask that as
Yes,
well.
yeah, because
Yes,
it's become such a political thing.
mm-hmm.
Again, it is just another additional layer, right?
Right,
It's still the basic things will be isolate if you're ill,
right,
frequent washing of your hands,
right,
social distancing. But then there are situations where you cannot social distance in terms of the 6 feet or the 2 meters. And so this is where the mask becomes an additional thing. And I know there's been a hula baloo. Everyone knows it's not 100%. It's the same thing as you wear your seatbelt and you drive in a car. It's not 100% that you will not have an accident. It's not 100% that you won't get injured. But
mm-hmm.
the risks are reduced. And this is science, right? There've been
Right,
research. We've shown that in terms of the spread,
mm-hmm.
it is it actually contains it, right?
Right,
And the most important thing we need to realize is you're wearing your mask is actually protecting the other person. And so I think in this time it's just a way of saying I care about you, even if you feel you're okay or if you don't care about yourself. It's just showing that I respect you as an individual. And so if you see someone doing it, then you should reciprocate, right?
yes,
But then the important thing about the mask though is in as much as it's an additional layer for health, how we handle it, things like how we put it on, how we take it out, might
right,
actually pose more of a risk to us than an additional benefit or an additional layer of protection that it's supposed to be. And so I don't know if I have time, but I'm just going to quickly go over it briefly because I think this is really important. So in the process of using the mask, we don't end up infecting ourselves because that's not the aim. So the
right,
key thing with the mask is always your interaction with the mask should always be as much as possible with the loops. And by the loops, I'm referring to the part that you hang over your ears, right? So talking about safely putting on a mask, the first thing is to get a hand sanitizer or if you can wash your hands. You
mm-hmm.
need to do that before you handle it. I've got a mask here. I'm just going to use that to demonstrate for I have a disposable. You can also do the cloth mask. But like I said, these loops are all that you interact with. Once you clean your hands though, because the best way to be protected is you need to be able to cover your nose, your mouth, and your jaw area. So just try and stretch it the width out so that there's enough to cover that. And that should be the last interaction that you would have with this outer surface. The reason being that this is where the contaminants get in touch. And if you keep fiddling with it and then you touch your face, basically you're bringing it closer to you than not having the mask. So this is really important, right? Wash your hands, spread that, and then handle with this. So basically, you just go over, uh, loop it over both ears. I do know that sometimes just having a standard size might be a bit of a challenge, especially for younger kids that are 2 years and above.
Right.
I actually think for women, the solution is easier. And that's why I intentionally put on this headband, right? Because you can have the headband and you can actually on your own just add on the buttons. I don't know if you see the buttons I've got here, or you can they already have them ready made. Especially for people who have to be in the mask for long hours, they do complain about, the trauma and then the scars it leaves. So sometimes just taking the pressure off your ears and just basically just hanging it over the buttons this way, right?
Right.
Okay. That kind of takes the pressure off your ears that way, right? And so the same thing, just hang it there or hang it over your ears, and basically you're done. The key thing though is to try and reduce any surfaces that might allow um in kind of increase the risk of the air going. So basically it's less so with the cloth mask, but especially with the disposable mask. It's important that you kind of mold it to fit your nose. And that way, what you're doing with that is you're kind of reducing the space in between that would allow for the transmission, right? So with the masks that have this firm edges, right, is a metallic thing. Just pinch on that, and that's about it. After that, one shouldn't be touching this. If you need to take it off, it should always be from the loops, right? Same thing. I do see people, when they're in their cars or you really don't have to have a mask on when you're in your car, as long as you're with the same cohort of people. What I mean by that is if you're with your family, it's different if you're carpooling to work and you have different people you're not sure. But I think generally most people are in the cars with the family. You don't need to have it again because, and I know this is where the issue of coming with the mask about the fact that you're not allowing for circulation of air and getting adequate oxygen. You don't really need to have a mask in a car if you're with your family, right? And so, like I always say, when you're there, and again, if you don't want to contaminate, just lose the grip of one of the loops, and you can leave it hanging,
Right.
or if you want to be safe, just put it away. Put it away in such a way that the exposed area is what is protect that inner part, right? Because that's the part that comes close to your face, and just leave the outer part more of the exposed place. I'm just going to quickly go over the taking off the mask. It's the same process, right? You need to, again, sanitize or wash your hands before you take that out. And like you saw me do, again, taking it off through the loops and handling it by the loops throughout. For the cloth mask, it's recommended that you put it in a bag and do not reuse until after you've had a chance to wash it. For the disposable, just discard. And this is the other thing, the way we're discarding it, right? Because again, it's becoming a problem. I just heard over the news recently that in the sea somewhere they retrieved billions, I'm telling you, billions of masks and gloves,
Yeah.
right? You can only imagine what that's doing to the marine life. So that's the other thing. I see people drop them in shopping carts or drop them on the floor. Like, let's just respect other people, right? If you protected yourself and then you discard it in a way that is not safe for others, that's really not fair. So, yeah, for me, I feel that's really very important. And if you guys want to find out, get more information and go over this again, I'll just recommend going on the Alberta Health Services website. It's www.ahs.ca/COVID, and it just walks you through on how to wear the non-medical masks.
Wow. That's wonderful information.
That's very valuable information.
Yeah, really valuable. And you can always go back to watch, right?
Exactly.
All these and see
Exactly.
demonstrations as well, like what you just did. Yeah, I think it's very
Exactly.
good that we emphasized on how to take off and put it on so that we don't get infected or get in trouble while we're trying to keep safe, and then
Exactly.
we're
Yes, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it's time to Zumba.
Yay. Yay.
It's time to click that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Zumba, you know, Zumba is like I'd like to say that Zumba is like a total body workout, right?
Right.
You know, so when you do Zumba, you're not just, you know, getting cardio done, you're also working your core, you're also working your arms. You know, we do quite a bit of squats in between and a lot of like core movements and all that. So you're working your total body. So when you think about Zumba, think about a total body workout and you're having fun with it. So don't even think about that you're missing the move or anything. No, just be moving, just keep your body moving and just, you know, do as much as you can. And I think what happens is that you get to master the movements, you know, and the songs, you know, as you go along. So the more you do it, the more you master it. But it's a total body workout. You know, you're working arms, thighs, you know, your legs, you're working your core. So just have fun with it, you know.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks so much. And we will see you over at Zoom. It's time to Zumba.
All right. See you soon.
Thanks. Thanks, Ibiye.
Hey, you're welcome.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Join us on Zoom.
Join us
For sure.
See ya.
See you in a bit on Zoom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 minutes. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.